Welcome to the Explainer. Over the last few weeks, the AI world has been buzzing. We're seeing these sudden, really strategic moves from the big players. It's like a whole new kind of competition is heating up. And today, we're going to decode what's really going on behind the scenes. So, let's kick things off with a real mystery, one that had the entire AI community playing detective. Imagine this, a secret, powerful AI model just appears online. No name, no announcement. It just showed up on a popular testing platform, and everyone was left scrambling, asking, what is this thing and who made it? All right, so this mystery model brings us to our first big story, Google's Phantom model. The consensus? This is almost certainly a sneak peek of their next huge release, Gemini 3. So this model, which people started calling Rift Runner, literally just appeared. No blog post, no documentation, zip. It was like someone at Google accidentally flipped a public switch. And right away, its performance and just the way it behaved kicked off this firestorm of speculation. The AI community is like a team of detectives. They jumped on this immediately, piecing together clues. The API logs, they matched previous Google models. The way it talked, it had that same vibe as other secret Gemini checkpoints. Even the name fit a pattern they'd seen before, Lithium Flow, then Orion Mist, and now Rift Runner. But the real smoking gun? It's vision. I mean, it was just incredible. One tester called it soda for vision tasks, and get this, because it could perfectly read a doctor's messy, handwritten prescription. That's something other top models just couldn't do. Okay, but it wasn't all perfect. Far from it, actually. While its vision was, next level, it kind of stumbled on some basic physics questions. And if you ask it to write code across multiple files, it just refused. So what does that tell us? Well, it all points to this being a sandboxed test version. This is probably an internal model Google is putting through its paces, not the polished final product we'll see at launch. So while Google is playing this secretive game in the shadows, its competitors are doing the exact opposite. They're making really loud, very public moves. And that brings us to the next front in this AI war, a full-on price war in the coding world, led by a player you might not expect. And that company is none other than ByteDance. Yeah, the folks behind TikTok. They just dropped a new coding model, but it's not the tech that's making waves. It's this number. This price tag is the key to their entire aggressive strategy. Yep, less than 10 yuan. We're talking about the price of a cheap coffee. For that, developers get a whole package for their new model. This is just a brutally aggressive move designed to do one thing, completely undercut everyone else, and just hoover up as many developers as they can, as fast as they can. And here's the kicker. It's not just cheap, it's good, like really good. It shot straight to the top of a super tough coding benchmark, the SWE verified leaderboard. But here's the really smart part. They made it work natively with the Anthropic API. Why is that a big deal? Because it means any developer using Anthropic's tools can switch over to ByteDance's model with practically zero effort. That's a genius move to lower the barrier to entry. Okay, so now let's pivot to OpenAI. You've got Google teasing this raw, mysterious power. You've got ByteDance waging a price war. So what's OpenAI doing? Well, they're taking a completely different path. They're shifting their focus away from just raw intelligence to something a lot more human. So when they recently announced GPT 5.1, the headlines weren't about it being, 30% smarter or crushing some new benchmark. Nope, it was all about the user experience. And this quote from their own blog really says it all. We've clearly heard from users that a great AI not only needs to be smart, but also make chatting with it a pleasant experience. And that pivot is absolutely the key here. They're making a conscious choice to move away from just chasing raw intelligence, let's call it the AI's IQ. Instead, they're now trying to blend that with emotional intelligence, the EQ, because they believe that's what makes for truly better product. So what does that look like in practice? Well, this new update brings a bunch of features to make talking to the AI feel more natural, more personalized. You've got new official personalities, like professional, candid, or quirky. It has what they call adaptive reasoning, so it knows when to think harder. And you, the user, can actually fine-tune things like how enthusiastic it sounds or how many emojis it uses. The goal is pretty clear, right? Make the AI feel less like a sterile tool and more like a partner you're working with. And then they did something really interesting, something you don't see very often. They were super transparent about safety. They basically published their own report card. They pointed out where they made things better, like improving jailbreak resistance and adding new mental health checks, but they also pointed out where things slipped a little, like in hate speech detection. Just openly sharing the good with the bad, that's a huge shift in how these companies usually talk to us. Okay, so let's take a step back. What does all this mean when you put it together? You've got Google's secret model, ByteDance's price war, and OpenAI's personality push, all happening at the same time. When you line it all up, you start to see the shape of a new kind of AI race. We're calling it an AI shadow war. Think of it like shadow boxing. Nobody is throwing a direct punch at anyone else, but every single move, whether it's a mysterious leak, a dramatic price cut, or a new personality, it's a calculated jab. It's a feint. It's designed to counter a rival and grab an advantage on a totally different front. And hey, don't think for a second this is just about the big guys. Not at all. There are smaller, specialized players making their own moves in the shadows. Take a company like Black Forest Labs. They're quietly getting ready to drop Flux 2 Pro, a model designed to absolutely dominate a specific market, in this case, high-end image generation, by focusing on one thing and one thing only: sheer quality. And this table just lays it all out so clearly. It shows you the different battlefronts. It's not a one-size-fits-all race anymore. There's no single path to victory. Instead, you've got these 4 totally distinct strategies playing out. Google is betting on secretive, overwhelming power. ByteDance is trying to win the market on cost. OpenAI thinks the key is emotional connection. And players like Black Forest Labs are betting on being the absolute best in class at one specific thing. Each one is a totally valid but completely different bet on what the future of AI looks like. Which, of course, leaves us with the one big question. As this shadow war keeps playing out, with everyone fighting on their own turf, who's gonna win? Is it the smartest model, the cheapest one, or the one that feels the most human? The answer to that question isn't just about who wins a business race. It's probably going to define the entire next era of AI.